So hello everyone, this is Dr Jhannavi Patel from Nirmal Atman the Healing Center. फ्रेंड्स, मेरा ये चैनल शुरू करने का पर्पस ये था कि मैं डिफरेंट हीलिंग मोडालिटीज़ को लोगों तक पहुंचा सकूं। इसी प्रयास में मैंने ये सेशन शुरू किए हैं। ये 21 सेशंस है जिसमें मैं एवरी ट्यूसडे और सैटरडे 5 PM एक हीलिंग एक्सपर्ट के साथ आती हूँ। हम लोग वो थेरेपी के बारे में जानते हैं एंड वी ऑलवेज डू अ लाइव गाइडेड मेडिटेशन। So if you are interested to see such videos, please subscribe to our channel. So आज की हमारी जो गेस्ट है वो है इंदिरा थवानी. She is a karmic therapist, meditation facilitator and a holistic energy healer. उन्होंने डॉक्टर ब्रायन वेज के वहाँ से सर्टिफाई किया है फॉर पास्ट लाइफ रिग्रेशन थेरापी. So let's welcome our today's healer इंदिरा थवानी. Hello इंदिरा जी.
Hi, thank you so much for calling me on this platform, Dr. Jhannavi. I feel highly privileged and it's so nice to be together in our purpose of life doing this.
Yes, true, very true.
So, and a big hello to all the viewers as well.
Hello all from Indira ji and from me as well. So इंदिरा जी, आपके बारे में बताइए, आप क्या-क्या हीलिंग थेरापीज में एक्सपर्ट है, क्या-क्या हीलिंग थेरापीज आप प्रैक्टिस करती है, कैसे आप लोगों को हेल्प करती है? Please tell us about it.
Yes. So I've been in this journey for about 21 years. And मैं बहुत छोटी थी जब मेरी journey spiritually start हुई. Okay. So I was a seeker by birth and I come from a very spiritual lineage. So बहुत बचपन से, I used to really bother my mother about experiencing a living divine. That's when the journey started. Because, I could not connect to idol worship at a very young age. So the first question was, how can I have, a walking, talking divine for myself? Because it was very early that I was seeking solace, a deeper meaning to life, and I realized it. So the first input that I had got from my mom was you meditate and you meditate on light between the eyebrows. So for a small child of 5 years to be able to do that and experience the divine was a tough task. But I tried, and for many years, this journey of trial carried on. I tried to woo the divine because, India में बहुत सारे rituals होते हैं, भक्ति होती है. So जन्माष्टमी पे, you try to woo Krishna. So सारे methods try किए थे, पर मेरा divine कभी live नहीं हुआ. So in that quest for, the supernatural, something beyond, I started reading at a very early age about, things like hypnosis, astral projection. I think I must have been about 9 years of age when I picked up my first books on these.
Wow.
Yes. And I had even gone for a workshop at the age of 13, pulling my dad along to, experience what it's like. So it's been a very early start for me. And healing happened on the way, because when I got to know about Reiki, for family, it was hocus pocus. But for me, it was no, there is something beyond that. That means we have, a capacity in us.
Yeah.
Which is a higher capacity than what we really know, because we see everything in physical boundaries, but there is something beyond, and I want to discover it. So that longing to discover something beyond led me to Reiki. Then I experimented with feng shui, I experimented with sujog, and that's how the journey of healing started, actually 25 years ago. Okay. So I was healing in school itself. And I picked up a lot of books of masters from the Western world. Louis Hay happened to be a favorite of mine. I picked up Conversations with God. You must be knowing about Neil Donald Walsh. Yeah. It's a very interesting series of books. Sure. So I thought, by reading all this, I'm experiencing the divine. But actually, I was only experiencing what others are experiencing. I still didn't have my own experience. But the own experience happened suddenly one day in 2003 when I had a divine intervention. So I had a divine intervention of the founders of the Oneness University, where the founder spoke to me in the Antaryaman. And that's when my true journey started. He told me, I had never met him. It happened through TV. This is also very ironical. It happened through TV. He spoke to me, telling me why he had chosen me, what he was going to do with me, and why he had taken a physical form on earth, what his vision was. So I was a part of his vision. So that's how in 2003, this discovery happened. It took me 4 years to actually find him at the ashram. And when I found him in 2007, the most beautiful journey of my life started because I was blessed with a rare state of ananda. Ananda is a state of enlightenment. It takes years of tapas for a person to reach that stage. But it, to me, in the form of a seed, I wouldn't say, it's anything more than that. Let me just put it as a seed. It's nice to leave it there, So when the seed is put, you have to grow to experience it more and more and more. But that itself was a huge blessing. So I gave myself in service to the divine, and the journey of healing carried on powerfully. But what happened is, in the course of this voluntary work that I was doing with the oneness, and with not less than 50, 60 monks of the university, I picked up deep knowledge that transformed to a living experience. So that wisdom grew so much to a point that in 2016, my divine blessed me and said, go do this work and counsel people. The counseling automatically led me to certify myself with the country and the world's top therapists. And it was a cakewalk. I would want it. I would just go do it. Yeah. Because, I'd come here to contribute. That was very clear. So I'm mentioning this because this is very important for the viewers to know the background. It is a rare background. It is a background where it's effortless healing that happens when you're connected to the divine. It's not the certifications. It is this blessing, this experience that does the healing, which I have actually never mentioned. So I'm very grateful to you, Dr. Jhannavi, for giving me this opportunity to share this. It feels very good to have you as a medium to do this. And I agreed to do this.
It's my pleasure to have you here.
And I agreed to do this because just before you gave me a call, my guru wanted me to come online.
Okay, wow.
So till then, I was refusing everyone. And you were the next person who came in after his call.
Okay, lucky.
So we have a very beautiful journey together as well, I feel.
Yes.
So after my blessing, the first certificate that I picked up was on past life regression therapy. And that training started by my divine in my divine chamber. So I have a divine chamber at home since 2014, which is a holistic chamber, where my divine showed me how to regress a person. Yeah. And after the blessing, I must also share this. I went through what is called the dark night of the soul.
Okay.
When a person has to actually grow independent to be a master, you will read about many people who have journeyed through this dark night.
Yes.
And I didn't know I could experience this in the spiritual area because I had kept myself away from a lot in life, but I'd kept myself deep into spirituality. So this hit me that, I could go through the dark night of the soul even in the spiritual area. But I grew independent of, the guides who I was so close to. And there was a lot of karmic gyan that was flowing. So the first workshop that I took was the Karma Gyan workshop. And again, I had a transformation through the workshop. When it got over, I went into a state of silence. And that's when I discovered my purpose of life on 2nd of April, 2017, where the divine told me, this is why you're born and this is what you're going to do. And there's been no looking back. The certificates happened after that. And I got certified at Life University, which is a beautiful university, and you must have heard about its founders. And I have got connected to the university beautifully, and everywhere the masters are enlightened souls, everybody on a deep spiritual path, and the healings that are happening through the past life regression sessions, also the rebirthing sessions, which I've done at the university, have brought about miracles in people's lives. So two of the therapies that I would like to focus on today is the past life regression therapy, where I have two certificates, one from Life University and one from really privileged to have one from Dr. Brian Weiss himself.
Yes.
And the rebirthing therapy. because these two are power therapies to release a person of karmic impacts of their life and take them on a deeper spiritual journey. Yeah. So I would like to focus on these two. So if you have any questions before I start talking about these therapies.
Not question, but I feel, when divine has your back, everything goes very smoothly and very nicely. You don't have to,
Yes.
put too much efforts into it.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
So tell us about these two modalities.
Yeah. So I'll start talking about the rebirthing breathwork therapy. Very few people know about this therapy, so I would like to start with this. Now, the founder of this therapy is Leonard Orr. Leonard Orr, who happens to be a Westerner, was a disciple of Mahavatar Babaji, who is known to be a Himalayan master. So people could have heard of Mahavatar Babaji or could have heard of his lineage, Paramhans Yoganand, autobiography of a yogi. So the entire lineage used to practice Kriya Yoga, which remained with them for many years and among the Himalayan masters. But since he was a disciple, he learnt it and brought it to the world in the form of rebirthing breathwork. So that's where the origin lies. And hence it is really powerful because through that breath work, the person is taken into a sacred and conscious form of breathing, which removes any kind of really deep-seated blocks from their subconscious. Because we are carrying these blocks life after life. So I would just like to mention, the fact that when a person is not getting results in past life regression therapy, when they feel that they're not getting results because they can't see, then rebirthing breathwork becomes a very beautiful option.
Yes.
When a person wants results very fast, when a person doesn't need to know answers, but just wants breakthrough in lives, whether it be, physical breakthroughs, mental issues, emotional, whatever it be, rebirthing is wonderful. So I have had people who've come for half a session and had financial breakthroughs. Just maybe 1.5 hours, and they don't come back. They're so happy. They say, we don't need it. And how does that really happen? It happens because there are other blocks in their life which are preventing them from focusing on their work. They're not able to focus. They have, issues with their husbands, with their moms-in-law. But this is so transformative at a deep level. The mind calms down so much. It brings about that shift in the energy. Because what are you doing? In rebirthing, you are not only taking in breath in that conscious pattern of breathing, you're taking in cosmic energy. Once you're taking in cosmic energy and it's filling in every cell of your body, it's working at a sacred level and a very powerful level.
Yes, true.
So, it is this pranic energy which remains in you even after you die. So you might have heard of, the nails and the hair growing even after the physical body dies. So it's this pranic energy. And, we even hear of people who are deep down in sand. Pair upar hai, pura sar matti ke andar hai, but they're still surviving. How? It's that pranic energy. Their body has taken in that pranic energy and they're holding it. That's giving them the capacity to still be there physically. So it's so powerful. Even after the session is over, it keeps working on you.
Okay.
And
just
brings
one
about
session and it is, still
keeps
there.
working on you because you've taken that all in.
Wow.
It's rebirth you. It completely revives you, rebirths you into a new soul. It gives you a new life. It's new prana, right? It's new prana that you're taking in so powerfully.
Yeah.
So, and I would like to cite a couple of examples of how it has changed people's lives. So, the first example that I can think of right now is a lady who had come to me mentioning that she wasn't living a completely happy life. She always felt very suffocated and constrained. So I suggested let's do the rebirthing breathwork, which I popularly call the deep detox. It's easy for people to understand, or sometimes I call it the emotional detox.
Yeah.
So she discovered that she had some hidden traumas of childhood lying suppressed. So during the session, those came to the surface. So as you allow that cosmic energy to enter you, It gets into your subconscious at a deep level, uprooting all that is there under the carpet and stinking. When you allow it to come up, and in the light of that awareness, you do the healing for the client is able to let go. So there are moments when I integrate these therapies with other therapies like inner child healing. For her, I had to do an inner child healing as well.
Yeah.
So again, depending on what other therapies I need to include, I club it together and do an integrated session. So she was able to release that trauma, which changed her relationship with her spouse and the entire family. What was interesting was something which she did not anticipate. There were people in her organization who left her and went within 2 days. Every person left her and went. So she called me back and she said, see, my personal life has settled down very beautifully, but look at what's happened. So I just asked her one question. Were those people your support system? So she said, no, they were giving me a lot of problems. So I said, it's very simple. It's a detox at all levels. Those people have got detoxed out of your life. She was shocked.
Yeah, the negativity is,
So
releasing from your life.
she was really like, Eureka, can this happen? I said, yes. So I said, aren't you feeling lighter? So she was like, actually. And then you know what she told me? There's one lady who's left. And this lady is very loyal to me. And she used to tell me, Madam, ye sab log hai na, they're against you. I said, what more proof do you want? And in a very short time, she put up a new staff and she's doing very well now. And she's very grateful, because she's actually settled down so beautifully. And when these people have these experiences, they of course give you references of other people who come in. So that's how I've been working. When you really deliver results with your divine, then you don't need anything more. I have been working back to back, just doing healings because of this beautiful gift of being able to change people's lives. So you don't need to, you don't need to talk about it. They do that work for you.
Yes.
Yeah. It just happens. It becomes a happening. So this is one. There are instances of even people getting released from the impact of black magic. Spirits in their body. Their voice changes during the session. I had this lady who started speaking like an old Christian lady. She herself didn't know that, the spirit would come and use her body every now and then. So these are unique sessions which I have noticed during the detox, And then they come back and say, no, I feel at ease. I don't feel controlled. Otherwise, they say, we feel controlled. We feel taken over. There are moments in the night which create discomfort for us. So because you have this new sacred energy in your being now, the negative energy automatically has to make place for that.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, through this one example and the one which I shared about, women getting breakthroughs financially, relationships getting set right. So careers changing. Of course, even at the health level, there are major changes that can happen at the health level also. I just, shared a couple of days back on my status about this popular surgeon in the city who underwent the detox, and he was not being able to discover the reason of an intestinal pain that he had for more than a decade. So what he was guessing was it has something to do with acidity. He said nothing is showing up anywhere. And this is the only thing that I can think of. But it doesn't make sense because it was a recurring pain. It used to keep happening every 15 days. And a person of that category not being able to discover with his medical contacts. Yeah. But then what happened was there was an opening that happened after the session. That opening led him to the right contact who actually told him what the issue was.
Okay.
So, of course, there is a spiritual science to it. But yes, there is a divine force also to it, which we will not understand. But it gives the results which the individual is really seeking for. Sacred experiences that people have had, they get mystical visions, they get information from the masters. sometimes about the purpose of life when they're stuck. It's beautiful for discovering your purpose of life. And people have also had visions of divine light. That happens very often. They also get connected to their ancestors. They get their blessings. And blessings of the ancestors is so important, because when their ancestors come into the scene, we can actually help those souls to go beyond on a different plane, help them to journey further. When they journey further and reach the higher planes, so the therapist has to play that role of even educating the client at that point in time.
Yes.
So there are things like transgenerational healing which can also happen parallelly. So integrative therapy, works in that manner when you give the client, when you give the therapist flexibility to help the client out of any issues that are actually impediments in the life. And when all these impediments slowly start getting ruled out, then what happens? The person automatically goes on a higher soul journey.
Yeah.
So that's about rebirthing breathwork. So I think why not just ask the viewers if they have any questions? Maybe we can take one question.
They are saying
if
hello.
you have a question.
People are saying hello to us.
Hello to everyone.
Any questions you have, guys? You can type in the chat box and we can take it further. So, tab tak, let's talk about past life regression. I'm very much looking forward to this.
Yes, so we'll talk about past life regression as well. So now this is also very interesting, because we always connect to each other in the physical body, because we've taken an incarnation in a physical dimension.
Yes.
But people completely overlook the fact that we are energy entities as well. And that energy entity never dies. The soul lives on and on from lifetime to lifetime, ever since it took its first incarnation in a physical world. Whatever it be, in the form of a mineral or a plant or an animal or a human. So we have actually evolved over time in different forms. We've lived many lives in different genders, in different social strata. So we've lived as man, woman. We've lived in different religions. And then we finally come to this life. And all along, we've carried with ourselves lots of baggage. We've carried with ourselves a lot of experiences, the beautiful experiences, as well as the negative experiences. So all these so-called negative experiences remain in the subconscious and they rule our life. So our conscious mind is not what rules our life. The awake, aware, conscious mind, that doesn't rule. It's the subconscious, which is as high as 95%. So that is what people do not realize. If they realize that the entire control of their life is there, then they would understand the importance of all these therapies, not only past life, all these therapies, because that is what these therapies actually address, to cleanse the blocks from the subconscious level, to go to the root. So when they are not being able to deal with it through normal medical methods or through meditation or whatever healing method, then we use this particular modality of past life regression, take them through a particular guided method by using hypnotic suggestions or sometimes non-hypnotic suggestions. So the mode of taking the person into the past depends on, from client to client. We take them to the past and connect them to the root of that particular block in a past life. So you regress, you recall, you relive, and then finally you release, and then you're free. That's what the therapist takes you through. So when you are reliving that whole experience, there's a new light that falls upon that particular issue. You're able to see it from a different perspective. Say, for example, let's take the case of a mother-in-law, daughter-in-law issue, which is so common. If they are having a friction in this current lifetime, And it is actually set for this particular relationship. It's not, something which we see in Bollywood or in TV serials. This is something which is actually true. This is one very common thing, and this is the way it happens. Mother-in-law, who is actually the perpetrator, when any of them are taken back into the past, it will be seen that there is a role reversal. So the daughter-in-law was a perpetrator in the previous lifetime, and the mother-in-law was a victim. So at the moment when the soul releases the body in that lifetime and they're going to the other world and they are deciding upon the agreement for the future lifetime, to complete their karmic dues, they have agreed to this role reversal. But if they don't do their lesson learning, then they are stuck. So lesson learning is very important, but the ego plays a huge part. Expectations always remain there. So then how does the healing happen? This is one method which turns out to be really helpful, because if they're able to see what they have actually done in a different body in a previous life, then their whole point of view changes. Forgiveness happens, forgiving happens, and they are able to come back to it. And once you yourself heal yourself, and you're able to receive that new perspective, the other also responds to you differently. And the same thing happens even in the case of husband and wife issues, even in the case of some parent and child issues. So I just want to mention one point with the rebirth therapy. It addresses a lot of issues related to the womb stage as well. Right? Since I was talking about this just now, it's very, very important for that, because, the word itself, rebirth. So there are 8 biggies of trauma which are addressed. These biggies of trauma take care of the traumas of the entire lifetime, which Leonard Orr himself has mentioned as, in different categories. So the fetal stage, pre-birth stage, the birth trauma, the early childhood trauma, traumas which you experience out of expectations when you're born from the parents, a girl being born, unacceptable gender, rejection happening. So all those traumas are addressed in rebirthing that work. So, both these therapies parallelly do a wonderful job when clubbed together. It just becomes super powerful. And I have personally addressed a lot of relationship issues through these 2 therapies. Even in the case of certain grandmothers who've come to me, at the age of 60, 65, they come and say, we are so sick and tired, of living the constrained life that we've led. My husband, this, that he doesn't love me, this, that. But when I take them into their past life, many times they say, my head is paining, I can't see, but what is it? They are actually resisting seeing the truth of what they've done in the past. So then, you need to counsel them, sometimes cajole them, sometimes be a little stern, but you have to take them to the past for them to be able to see what they've done.
To be aware.
And then a lot of them, they come into acceptance and peace after that. So I've had actually a row of, friends at that age group come to me because one had her healing and then she just kept sending her friends. They were like a bunch together. So they were influencing each other energetically also. Instead of things getting better, they were influencing each other energetically. So you could have, positive influence happening energetically. You could grow in that, increase your karmic baggage.
Yeah.
So again, 2 laws, which are very, very, 2 spiritual laws, which are very important for this therapy to be a success. An acceptance of the spiritual law of reincarnation and an acceptance of the spiritual law of karma. So this is what this therapy is based on. So as I mentioned, relationships, getting healed. And I think I've covered quite a lot. So if I can think of any more examples, maybe, I'll mention it. As somebody who had come up with a skin issue for 30 years, she had crocodile skin.
Yes.
Boils on the skin. Yeah. And she just couldn't get rid of it. But she was on a divine path. She needed just 1 session. She was out of it because she saw that in a past life, her husband had killed a crocodile. That crocodile had cursed the family because it was a pregnant crocodile.
Oh.
So the curse was for the husband and wife to remain separated. And that imprint was there on this lady's body. I happened to just, share this particular miracle on my status, and she read it just 4 days back. I think you also read it.
Yes, I have read it.
So then I just asked her, I said, how's your skin now? And this was 2017. So 30 years, and it's been 3 years ever since the healing. She said it's never come back.
Okay.
So that's really miraculous and beautiful. But with some people, it does take time because the whole concept is very new for them. There's so much of logic, so much of analysis. They're not able to keep their mind silent to understand, that you're really a soul.
Yeah.
And allow yourself to let go and release and discover who you really are. So when the soul, sorry.
Yeah. So this whole thing works on people. ऐसे लोगों पे भी ये वर्क होता है कि जिनको इसमें बिलीफ ना हो, जिनको ये अवेयरनेस नहीं होती है, इतने अपने सेल्फ के टच में नहीं होते, दे डोंट वांट,
तो उनके साथ थोड़ा टाइम लगता है, बिकॉज उनको काउंसल करना पड़ता है, उनको ये ध्यान दिलाना पड़ता है कि ये किस तरह से काम करता है, कि वो कौन है. वो भूल गए हैं ना, they have forgotten their innate soul nature, their divine nature. They have forgotten that they are energy. उनको बताना पड़ता है कि आप 99% एनर्जी हो, उस 1% के पीछे मत अटके रहो. Actually 99.9% if you look at stats. Yeah. So that much of your physical entity is energy. So that comes, that hits them. And that's what the entire universe is. So if you put the physical matter of the entire universe together, Pura Brahmand, it'll just come into a little pea pod. That's the physical energy. So we are completely, that expansive, limitless self. So for them to discover that, it'll take time because there are layers and layers of experiences from the past lives, creating that conditioning, that attitude, thoughts, beliefs, which they've collected from their surroundings, their family, even collective consciousness, beyond individual consciousness, the consciousness of others, a collective consciousness का भी असर होता है. So it's a very deep subject, because लोगों के lives transform हो सकते हैं. ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है जहाँ पे आपको life के solutions नहीं मिलेंगे. So I tell them, if you leave it to me, I will lead you. We can get into a breakthrough. Because I do the life between lives therapy as well. एक interdimensional therapy है, जहाँ पे हम वहाँ agreement के point पे जा सकते हैं between two lives to bring about that change. It's rare. But उसमें क्या है? Till the masters agree, you cannot enter that realm.
Yeah.
But if you are blessed enough and lucky enough and maybe ready, then you can enter that realm and we can bring about a change in your life. So if your current life issues are not resolved, you can't do that life between lives therapy.
So what are the special offers that you would like to give our viewers?
Okay, so I think something which is very close to my heart is the meditation, other than the therapies that I've spoken about, because meditation is such a tool where you can do healing on your own. You don't need a therapist. You learn it once and then practice it for a lifetime and become independent enough to just do your healing on your own. So I would like to give a special offer on the meditation. And I would give a 50% discount for the current meditation, because see, I have a lot of blessings from the masters. So it is very much a purpose of my life as well. I'm trying to give more and more there.
And that is what is required right now.
That is what is required right now. And people are looking at, investing in other areas.
Yeah.
But where they really need to invest is this. Because stress and depression are going to take over the world in a major way. And they need to realize this. And the change will not happen instantly. They need to start now and preparing themselves if they really want to see themselves surviving beautifully and enjoying life. So for 3 days from now till 6 p.m. on 21st, whoever registers, we'll give them a 50% off. It's a 14-day batch that I'm conducting. If people are open to the 3-week batch, because that there is a neural track that is formed over a 21-day period. If they can connect to that, we can do some deconditioning, we can form some new habit patterns to change their lives. We would offer it on the meditation.
Okay, so guys, आपको अगर मेडिटेशन सीखना है, अगर अपनी लाइफ में चेंज लाना है, तो this would be a best option for you to learn from Indira Thawani. So the offer is open till 21st July, right?
Hanji. And you can also they can also know that the age category that is covered is from 4 years of age and above. मैं बच्चों का भी meditation काफी time से कर रही हूँ, and they take to it beautifully. So that's a vast age range.
Okay, very nice. Okay, so could you give our viewers a brief experience of whatever you are practicing, whatever any modalities you can give the experience of?
Okay, so I would let them have an experience of 2 meditations.
Okay.
One would be a guided one, and the other I would just give them an input, and they can close their eyes and have an experience of it on their own. So after the first meditation, we'll just interact maybe for a minute before I start the next one.
Sure.
So this meditation is called the Serene Mind Practice, and it is a meditation which is introduced by my master Preetha Ji. So Preetha Ji and Krishna Ji are the founders of Ekam, the oneness meditation field in the South. It's a meditation field which is very unique because it has the largest pillarless hall in Asia and it has a capacity of housing 24,000 people simultaneously in 3 floors to meditate.
Okay.
And it happens to be a power spot. A power spot is such a place which does not have intersecting grid lines under the Earth's surface.
Wow.
There are only 3 such power spots in the world, and this happens to be the only sacred, preserved power spot for meditation. So when you go there and meditate, or you just connect to the vibrations of Ekam, it can bring about huge shifts in your life. So we would just, think about Ekam as this beautiful white divine structure made in the form of a Surya Yantra, and just submit to Krishna Ji and Preetha Ji to bless us to connect to this particular meditation. So it's a 3-minute meditation. So we will do this together, and you can also be a part of it to experience it.
Thank you, sure.
Yeah. So everybody can just close their eyes and sit with their spine straight. This meditation turns out to be very useful in the case of any state of disturbance and distraction. It helps a person to move out from a preoccupied mind, which is continuously moving from the past to the future and very seldom being present to the now. It helps us to return to a state of calm, and it takes a total of only 3 minutes. We would now take 3 conscious breaths. You would inhale deeply right up to the diaphragm, and as you exhale, take double the time to exhale. You can do this thrice. And after exhaling, I want you to recognize the exact emotion that you're going through. Are you experiencing a state of anger, a state of irritation or conflict? Or are you experiencing a state of love, a state of connection, a state of joy and gratitude? Once you're able to connect to exactly how you're feeling, observe the direction of your thinking. Once again, are you in the past or the future, or are you in the now? You may now imagine or feel a tiny flame of light move from the center of your eyebrows to the middle of the brain. And hold your attention there for a bit. Whenever you're ready, you may smile and open your eyes. So this is super short and it is very powerful for any kind of stressful situation. It can be done as many times in a day. And over time, it can release long pending chronic issues related to the mind.
And it is very calming as well.
It is very calming as well. So we don't have music right now. When we have a little bit of music, it's even more beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I would just like to say thank you to our viewers and thank you to you, because after the next meditation, we would not be coming back.
Yes.
So a lot of thank you from my heart, the depth of my heart. It feels so good to connect in our purpose together, and lots of love for the viewers. And they can connect with me anytime they want to. Maybe if you could just share my contact with them,
Sure.
they can get in touch anytime. And we will now do the next meditation.
Definitely.
And this meditation is dedicated to my other master, Brahmarishi Patriji. And it's the Anapanasati meditation, which can be practiced every day.
Okay.
So we will start with that.
We will just, end our live after the meditation.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So we do not have any music right now, but when our viewers practice it, then they can put on some soft music. It would be nice, because at an initial stage, one tends to get distracted, and, it's nice to have the attention going to the music along with attending to the breath.
Yeah, true.
And they should set an alarm. So if they would like to try it right now, they can set an alarm for 7 minutes as a starter.
Okay, 7 minutes.
7 minutes as a starter.
अगर आप हमारे साथ meditation करना चाहते हैं, तो you need to set an alarm for 7 minutes, and then we will signing off from our live session after you get the instructions and all, and then we'll see you all on Tuesday at 5 p.m. next Tuesday. So Indira ji, all to you.
Hachi. So everybody can sit with their eyes closed, spine completely straight. The legs need to be crossed and your palms need to be crossed too. This is because the energy that is generated during the meditation 10% would flow through the palms, 10% through the crossed legs, and 80% through your eyes. So it's very important to conserve this energy. And it's called Anapanasati meditation. Ana means inhalation, Pana means exhalation, and Sati is to be one with your breath of inhalation and exhalation.
Okay.
So everybody can just do this right now, and when they're ready, just focus on your inhalation and start connecting to the breath. So are you breathing slowly or are you breathing fast? Connect to the nostril area. Are you having any sensations in the inner lining of the nostrils? Or can you feel any kind of sensation below the nostrils in the upper lip area? Is it a sensation of heat? Is it a prickling kind of sensation? Just try to gauge what it is and connect to the breath. Are you breathing from your left nostril or are you breathing from your right nostril? Keep your attention completely connected to breath. Your mind would get distracted and there would be thoughts emerging. Do not resist those thoughts. Let them come forth. And as you keep focusing on your breath, they will just pass by. Make allowance for all those thoughts to pass by. As you keep bringing your focus back to breath, your thoughts will automatically start reducing. All that you need to do is keep connecting to this beautiful breath that you're inhaling, this one soul companion that stays with you from the time of your birth till the last moments, till you leave this physical world. But we hardly ever remember to appreciate its presence as our soul companion in life. It is that companion, it is that guru which stays with us as a friend in our good moments and our challenging moments in life. Let us make friends with this guru called breath. And let it release us of all the conditionings and of all the blocks that we have carried through so many lifetimes in our energy body. As we make allowances for that, and as we set a very strong intention to practice Anapanasati in our lives every day, we will see our life getting transformed. All that we seek materially, financially, professionally, in health, in our career, in every aspect of life, will start coming to us very, very easily. Because we've connected to that one life force, which is the ultimate force in our life, which is there everywhere in this universe. Beautiful, pure, and sacred. So I would now invoke the divine masters and guides to bless you to have a beautiful experience through both these meditations, which you can practice anytime in your life. You can practice the short, serene mind in moments of stress and strain. If you have not been able to connect to it completely today, you may practice it again. Slowly, you will get to a state of connection. If you feel more connected to the Anapanasati, you can begin to connect to the Anapanasati mode of meditation, and you will soon find the divine masters and guides blessing you on this path. I thank them for letting us be a part of this journey. So with complete gratitude to them all, to all of you and this universe, I would take leave. All blessings, love, light, and a namaste to all of you. Thank you so much.